Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. So your list is long. You got too much to do and you've said yes too many times. Do you find yourself staying up late at night, wondering and worrying about the commitments you've made? Well, many of us have that. We really have to think about how do we prioritize and what's on our list and really what's most important. But sometimes even when we've done that, that important list is still too long. How do we manage that? Well, today we're going to talk about delegation. And you think of that word and go, oh my gosh, I love to delegate. Or you go, oh, delegation. I know I should delegate more. And you go into the shoulding and beating yourself up. But we really need to talk about why delegation and really what's your comfort level with it. So for some of us, delegation is fairly easy, that we're made to guide and direct and feel comfortable being able to trust in others. And for some of us, it takes a little bit longer for us to think about delegation. So we're going to talk today about really how you can kind of manage that and think through that delegation piece. So first, when you're thinking about delegation and you look at that really long list, I'd like you to think about what is the work. So when you're thinking about delegation, you look at your list and say, gosh, there's lots of things that I need to get done. Think about what is the work that needs to get done and make that kind of clear. So I think it's saying, gosh, is it, if you look at the list and kind of group things and say, I have some analytical pieces here that I need somebody to do, or I have some creative pieces, or I really need somebody just to knock some things out for me. Really look at that first and say, how do I group it maybe? Because that might help you really think about the type of work that you're asking someone to do. The other thing to look at is, think about, is it recurring work? I think we'll be talking about time in a little bit. I think sometimes we don't want to take the time to do it because we're too busy to delegate, but we really have to think about, is it recurring work that could happen over and over again, or is this just a one-off? So first, think about what is the type of work. Second, think about what is the team that you have. Some of you may say, gosh, I don't have a team. If you don't, that's okay. Think about the partners that you have. But when we think about the people that we have to do the work, we have to then step back and say, if I'm going to delegate, I have to think about, how do I match the work to the type of person, type of talent, type of skills, type of expertise aligned with that work. So that way we're going to hit on a little bit more to, lots of people can do lots of things. But again, some of us who are hesitant about delegating are hesitant because we don't feel like anybody can do it as good as we can. Well, if we're not stepping back and really thinking about matching the work to the team or to the person, chances are it probably isn't going to be done as well because you're probably not choosing the right person to do the work. So really think about, who is the team, what does the team have, or what do those peers of yours have that they're really good at, that you've seen those gleams of great talent, that you give them something and they just get through it really, really quickly. So look at the team members and say, what expertise do they have? What skills do they have? And if you can kind of think about it in your head, we're kind of mapping the work to the person. And that's what you really have to think about. Third, you have to think about trust. So you got the work defined, you have the people, but can you trust them? Again, people, sometimes we hesitate because we don't feel people can do it as good as we. Well, you know what? When we're procrastinating on it or not getting to it, it's not getting done. So somebody's got to do it. So chances are not getting it done versus getting it done a little bit is going to be better than not doing it at all. So we really need to think about that person and saying, why do I not trust that person? If we've defined the work and we align it to the skills, the knowledge, and expertise, then we have to let go and we have to trust. Now, obviously, if this person has let you down before, that's a problem, right? So you need to be thinking about, do I trust this person? Yes. It's probably yourself you're not trusting when it comes to the trust piece. And fourth, let's think about now the time. Time, it takes time to delegate. So many people say, I'm too busy to delegate. I don't have time. We do have to think about delegation does take time. In order for it to be successful and for it to work, we have to think about the time it does take. We have to think about taking time to teach, sit down, and helping people understand, what does that mean? What does it mean? What am I needing you to do? How can I be clear on the expectations? How can I be clear on the outcome? and really allowing time to do that versus just saying, okay, I have this project and I need to do this and this and this. And it's fast and furious. You drop it and go, right? You drop it on your desk and go. Well, chances are the outcome probably isn't going to be as good if you haven't taken that time to teach, to be clear, to make sure that they're aware of what the project is. So when we think about delegation, there's so many of those different pieces: the work, the team, the trust, and of course time with all of that. So for positive charge this week, I want you to think about your delegation. Number one is, what is your comfort level with delegation? Two, I want you to take a project this week and align, take that to-do list and look at that and group it and think about, gosh, if I took the work and kind of bucketed it and thought about the people and the trust and the time, could I make that happen? And three, focus on that last one, is time. Sometimes we have to block out time out of our calendar to even go through this process. But if you find yourself continually overwhelmed, it's definitely something important you need to do. So delegation is an important part of our life. It not only helps us with the projects, it helps the outcomes that are created for our clients. And guess what? It helps people grow. There's sometimes those things that we can delegate to others that give them just a boost in their day because they've gotten an opportunity to maybe do something they didn't think that they were going to get to do that day. Thank you for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.